I, SARJO SANNEH.
SARJO SANNEH.
Same thing. Keep on repeating.
I, SARJO SANNEH.
SARJO SANNEH.
Bank lako.
Keep on repeating it. You should be coaching witnesses.
I, SARJO SANNEH.
SARJO SANNEH.
SARJO SANNEH.
Do swear that
Mbenkali lako.
Benkal lako.
I'll speak the truth,
Mbetonyale fola.
Betonyale fola.
the whole truth,
Onyada ma.
Tonyada ma.
and nothing but the truth.
Nte fem fola men manke tonyati.
Defin fola mi mungo tonyati.
Help me, God.
Woto alama alayende ma.
Ma mastallah ndema.
Good afternoon, Mr. Saneh.
Mr. Saneh, itinya.
Inimbara.
Thank you.
Welcome to the TRRC.
Bismillah, TRC.
Bismillah.
Thank you for coming and agreeing to give your testimony this afternoon.
Inimbara ba ke la songa pour kana sedarol di TRC jang nyintir bulanna.
Ba nata wala.
We have already been introduced as we have met, but you know that my name is Sagar.
Koman tom bendala nu bari hanin kabi yalone pour ka foy don pour safiro ta tilin to mu Sagar leti.
Ngawlo njele.
I know that.
And I will be the counsel guiding you today during your testimony.
Ntelebe ke la loyati mbate council de membe tambile la sede andiro nyati do ngala je pour ke dandang.
Bismillah.
We have a few rules and regulations here at the TRRC that I would like to share with you.
Sarta danu bembulu jam men yalon ko na tamandire bulol lem katama wolle la jang belaf la kamenu foye janimba kacha damu dala.
Bismillah.
First of all, before we begin, I would like you to make yourself comfortable.
Follow belaf la men na wala mindi ko abe diala nya pour yesi ye fanso do kacha nyin kono sa jete de so la kacha nyin kono.
Bismillah be pare no dal.
I'm ready for that.
And you have already chosen to speak in the Mandinka language.
Nung ya an kabi ya tombo ne ko be diam la ni Mandinka kangol la.
Bak.
And therefore, just keep in mind that we have interpretation going on from Mandinka to English and the other local languages.
Ora hanin kabi mbe dan la nyine si nyimbule sondo mo kono ko science and ben sio men don kanna soro be kere ni kabo tubabu kangol kata Mandinka kangol anina kanko tangol men be banko kanjang.
Bak ko sa dal.
That's good.
Therefore, just keep your statements brief.
Hanin kabi odali lo kambe dan la nyine ila kuma kangol ni si suti andi domanding.
Leave a short interval between my questions and your answers.
Hanin kabi fanang nyinin karo ni nyinin karo kere janning in kanna sorla nyimbe nyinin karo furan la folo jani de be jabiro kala isi mini second dan tambula je folo isaje jabiro ni nyinin karo ni jabiro li kana sele nyoka.
Bismillah the past.
That's all right.
Avoid overlapping speeches between myself and you.
Isaje kome ngafa nyame diamo ni kana sele nyoka ala diamo anila diamo ni kana sele nyoka.
And also to allow the interpreters to follow what you are saying as well as the audience.
Isaje kanna sorla nyim fanang isaje asa long membe kering asa kanna sorno puruk la moyer lalie.
Bismillah.
Okay.
I have already warned you about your duty to tell the truth, but for emphasis, I will repeat it here again.
Nye ya marlen ko man tono puru nyim muy kallon kundo dunol de puru yeto nya fo bari hanin kabi mba murun kanna raf ko tege ka sein kam.
Bak. Tuntaw.
Okay.
I would like to tell you that it is a criminal offense to lie before the TRRC.
Hanin kabi mbela fla kay kala mudan nyinna ko nyimulu wa tinyalti puru ka kuma soto balo fo TRRC nyati ngola jam.
Agam tunyalti.
That's true.
Or to give any information which will be misleading to the commissioners.
Warando ka kibar di me yalon ko abe commission ko nyim filindi la le.
Bismillah the past no sonta.
Okay. That's all right.
I would also like to give you an overview
hanin
your
kabi mbela
testimony
fla
this afternoon.
hanin kabi mbela fla ka tamandere bulol tandila bi nyintili bulanna be fannal men kacala.
Bismillah.
Okay.
You're here in your capacity as an NIA officer.
Jang ibe sio men do jam bi ibe jang sio men do jam wolem nyinti ko enaye do kulala muyti.
Yeah.
In that capacity, we would like you to look back at the time you've spent at the NIA during the course of your employment and tell us what human rights violations you have personally witnessed or heard of.
Dalilo kan tumala men ibe jang enaye do kulala muyti andum be refla ka kacha ko la men yalon ko hadamadi nyanti tinyal keta enaye je ite nyaaye men sedeya.
Bismillah.
Okay.
You have already told me as well that you have been personally victimized by the NIA.
Yen fonyele ite fon kunde we nyi fonyele ko ite fon keta molde me yalon ko e kola ya soto enaye je wato men ibe je.
Despite the fact that you have worked there for many years loyally.
Nya yedo ko keje sanji jama andungo sanji jama nyin kono yedo ko keje wato menna imu molde me yalon ko itiye tiling ye ko yedo ko nyi ne ibuge ma bo fenna.
Yes.
We would also like to hear from you, from that perspective, being an employee of the NIA and also being a victim of that same institution.
Ninkabi odalilo kam belafla ka long tumala mena imu do kulal tije anu inata na ka moti men fana yalon ko inata na deto soto ado ko nyin kono wato ibeje.
Okay.
I hope this is clear and you're ready to begin your testimony.
Njikita nyinne la ko nyin senata la ngai membe fo jang abe senata ndo be parere na pour kela seyda ndo nyin damuta.
Yes.
Kindly tell us what your full names are.
Silang isa fonye itoni kontongo isi fonye bampur saferoto.
To SARJO SANNE.
My name is SARJO SANNE.
What is your date and place of birth?
Ila wulu sang sanjumalti ani wulu da sate jumal.
The Wuta Kian Kayaf.
I was born in Kiang Kayaf.
Nata stage in Banjul, Mr. Banjul right now.
But later on I came down to stay in Banjul.
When were you born?
Sanjuma?
1977.
I was born in 1977.
Do you remember the exact date?
Lungo nying fangoy aning karo isa mutano ba?
Yeah, December 31st.
December 31st.
Thank you very much. And what is your present address? Where do you live right now?
Santeng ibe sabatere mintole.
Now, presently, I am resident at Banjul.
What is your occupation?
Muna mwela do kuoti.
In the mechanic.
I am a mechanic.
What is your educational background?
Muna mwela londo makamo soto di yemen soto.
With the help of Allah,
that Arab school.
I went to an Arab school.
Grade 6.
Up to grade 6. That's where I was. I was also working, doing also this trade as a mechanic.
Before we move on to your training as a mechanic, kindly tell us what school you went to and what periods.
Jannim bitela do godo ka fo mu mechanical de silang talen londo nyindo ya dara damur damento andung ye karamu jumal mabe.
The primary school ke Kayaf le Kiang Kayaf.
I did my primary school at Kiang Kayaf.
And where is that?
Kiang Kayaf we mintole banko kanjam.
LRR.
It's in the LRR, Lower River region. I left there and came to Banjul.
Do you remember what years you were at Kiang Kayaf?
For hakilo sa murano sanjumalam ye even Kiang Kayaf la primary school.
Around 80s.
I started there around the 80s. Then later on I came to Banjul.
And what happened after you came to Banjul?
When I came to Banjul, they took me back to school. I was there. I realized that that is not my field of work. Then I went to Tobacco Road. I went to Madike Fall. I explained myself to him and informed him that, and he said he works on big trucks. He told me, okay, let me also inform Sirfo Jata, who is also at Tobacco Road. Then I personally went to Sirfo and explained to him. I bought color notes and took it to him. That's how things were going. I go to school, but when I close from school, I come to the garage.
What school were you attending in Banjul?
I was going to Kampama School.
What school was it? Was it a primary or secondary school?
Primary school.
It was a primary school.
And what level did you reach?
And grade 6.
The year that I went to grade 6,
That's
the time when I informed my boss that I cannot take those two things together. Let me leave school and continue with the mechanic trade.
Mbolo
That's what I was doing
for around 1990.
until in the year 1990.
So after you finished your training, were you a qualified mechanic or not?
Bire yela londi karango nyinke fo inara na ke moti me alon kwai londi senara ngo soto mechanical la karola bang.
Ala ndi mawala.
Yes, with the help of Allah.
Apart from the apprenticeship, did you go through any formal training, or actually did you attain any kind of qualification or certificate?
Ninga bodo apprenti ala yemenke fo yeli nyim karango kela bang membe ba kela karamol to bang puriya certificate ro so fo yo kela bang.
Ala demal to mbedamento ole certificate dina silfo jata abantale.
With the help of Allah, the man who taught me decided to give me a certificate, but he is now of late a man called Sirfo Jata.
Please proceed.
So mbolo kono.
That's what I was doing.
For na do ko ay mo nyabo.
Well, my job impressed people.
So nata abzunu safe NIA mo NIA lan.
Then I decided to write an application to the NIA. After writing that application, by that time, the late Daba Marena, he comes to me there at the garage. Even Sehu Sabali, when they are not at the office, they used to come and camp at my garage.
Can you tell us who Daba Marena and also Sabali was?
Wala nyin Daba Marena di aning Sabali kontong Seku Sabali lamba.
Seku Sabali ole kata former vice president.
Seku Sabali was one time former vice president during Jawara's regime.
But Marena Frankada DG NIA.
And Daba Marena also one time director general at the NIA. That's how things were going until I was later called to the NIA. So they said before going for an interview, they'll have to test me. I said, that's okay. I said to them, now what you are going to do, tell your chief mechanic, tell him to dismantle any kind of machine that he has. Let him dismantle the machine and leave it like that in my absence. When I come, maybe if I come back, if I reassemble the machine and it failed to ignite, then there will be no need for you to employ me. Because if you want to employ somebody, should be somebody who is well qualified in that job.
Mr. Sane, it seems you were dictating the terms of your examination there before you were allowed to gain employment at the NIA.
Mr. Sane, amul dalago hani merita do ko la folo do ko nyin tamandiri bulo nyana ka nyame ite korondola itambita ko fo nyaati nyaat. Yalla mo ni fo no mi yeslela.
Somebody, if you are well qualified in anything, then you shouldn't have fears. That means that if you are on the part of the truth, you will not have fears.
So were you eventually employed?
Yes, on the day that all this happened, they told me to start work on that very day. But I told them, no, I have other jobs that I have to finish before I can come and start working here.
Do you remember when you started employment with the NIA?
Yes, by the help of Allah. I forgot the date itself. But if it was in the year 2004, if I remember properly.
I believe you have a copy of your appointment letter with you.
Yes, I have the copy.
Kindly give it to the usher, please. Are you literate in English?
Yes, I can speak a little bit of English.
Are you able to read this appointment letter?
No, I didn't read it.
Okay, in that case, I will just read it on your behalf, Mr. Chairman. The appointment letter is dated the 1st of November 2004, and it's reference PR CD 4060 in brackets 2, and it is signed by Elijah B. Gassama for the Director General. And I would like to tender it as part of the record. I will give you an exhibit number in due course. Thank you. So you started your employment with the NIA on the 1st of November 2004.
Yes.
Can you tell us how long you've been working for the NIA up to date?
It took some time.
Do you know up to how long? It looks like you've been working for the NIA for more than 20 years now.
Yes, yes, with the help of Allah.
And that is a long time.
Yes, that's a long time.
Is it safe to assume that you know the NIA very well?
Yes, the area where I work, I know that area very well.
You know the NIA as an institution very well after working there for 21 years. That is what I'm putting to you.
Yes, that's true.
Sorry, can you repeat your answer, Mr. Witness?
Yes, he said that's true.
Thank you very much. You know exactly how the NIA operates.
Yes, I have knowledge of some.
And you're familiar with its officers and workers.
Yes, with the help of Allah.
Before you started the NIA, did you receive any kind of training for the work that you were going to do there in that agency?
Janni be do ko commencer la NIA fo ye karambulu ye kaye karandila bang fanna la be do nyana ka do ko ke fanna la menna bang ye karandala la bang.
No kabi entita.
No, since I was employed,
Alde maroto ye appoint I think 3 months or 4 months ngamin keje.
Well, I spent 3 to 4 months after my appointment.
Training school.
And that's the time when I should go to the training school.
Training school.
When I went to the training school, I told them, had I known that this is what's going to happen, I wouldn't have taken up this job.
Because time spent training school
because the time I spent at the training school and the hardship I encountered, I have seen that. Because if you are at a garage, every day you will earn money by yourself. Even if it is $1. Even if it is $5. That's all thanks to Allah.
What kind of training did you receive at the training school?
NIA law karamo tinyindo ye karande mu bulu jumal la fanna jumal la.
They told me many things.
Were you trained in intelligence?
Ye karande londo kullo maranyala la bang.
Yes.
Because you've told us that you're appointed as a mechanic, is that correct?
Yes.
So apart from your training as a mechanic, you have training as a basic intelligence officer as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And during the years of service at the NIA, can you tell us how many director generals have actually served in that institution?
sango men be ye do ko ke NIA je fo isa fo non nyaton ka jelle e nyaton ka jelle tombonje ye do ko ke menu ko director
ni nyana fral.
Yes, if I can remember, I'll count them.
Please, can you tell us who they were?
Afonye manjumal lem wo director di
Marena.
Marena.
Please give us their full names.
tol ni kontongol dinna
Daba Marena.
Daba Marena.
Can you remember the period he served?
daba mare na fay hakilo samro na sango men na do ko ke jebang kada sanjelu
Daba anata jele.
Daba came there.
Sada embula je ataba yake appoint ambassador efungu yala tondi governor.
Yes, he came, but he left me there when he was appointed as governor.
Amuta ko anata ko ga enteleje.
And after that, he came back again and found me there.
From there
Who
Pajal.
replaced him after he had left?
jumale sit seta no kan bring atata
Ratata niminina Pajallo.
If I remember, after his departure, he was replaced by Pa Jalo.
Please go ahead.
tenteng
Pajallo botaje.
After Pa Jalo left,
Pengenata Bobaji.
Bobaji came.
Botaje.
After Bobaji left,
Munata.
Ima?
Harisamu.
Harisambu came.
Ofana botaje.
After Harisambu left,
Monada.
Numo came.
Mokujabi.
Numo Kujabi.
Ofana botaje.
He also left.
Yankubanata.
Yankuba came.
Obotaje.
Yankuba left.
Obi ala de marodo.
Up to today, by the help of Allah,
Akada Usman Sola Jamanuti.
now it is Usman Sow who is leading the department.
And which Yankuba are you referring to? What's his surname?
yankuba ebe yankuba jumala kontongo
Yankuba Baji.
Yankuba Baji.
And according to you, I believe you have about 7 director generals who actually served whilst you were serving at the NIA.
ko ya fa nyame njikita ko atara la fo director nyaton ko fo mo woro wula me yalon ko yedo ko ke wollal koto
Am Tonaldi.
That's true.
And after recalculating, I realized that you've been actually at the NIA for about 17 years. And that is why lawyers should never try to calculate anything. But I believe you were there for about 17 years.
wala sabu kabre murunda nga yire ka kuge nga kala muta ko itarta do ko la NIA je fo men bita so njitang ani woro wula
Yes.
Do you happen to remember what periods each of them served? If you can't remember, that's okay. I just need to
ko
know.
hakilo samura no nyin director be nyin korda tiol men be yedo ko men ke yedo ko ke men men ko ko hakilo samura no be wati jellel ke nyote ma nyin do naade janni babu ne kan nyin do aka jellel ke janni ate bola je do ena ka wa ila wato itemul
Marena ta ole mera.
Marina's stint was longer.
I meant the specific years. I don't know if the interpretation
Of
is
Sangulu.
reaching him properly.
Ako sangolu menu kije kari sanji nangam le kije kari sanji nangam le kije abewle nyinin kakang foi hakilo samuta kiliwo kili sanji jelleke nyaton kaya laji.
Ala de marodo nda askeno mba fu on joya mirol de même mum fala fo wala ma fonde.
Well, what I'm going to say is just that I am human. It might be correct, it might be incorrect too, but I will try to say what I can remember.
If you cannot remember, it's fine. I'm just asking if you can.
ni hakilo ta muta no la bedada ke nyin kala to ndinga tre hakilo samura bar ni ta hakilo ta muta no la fana bedada
Nda fo no maybe yalo minano len koy ko 2 years le utuma ak 3 years nga fani afo.
Yes, I can say it's 2 years when if it happens to be 3 years, in that case I have told a lie.
Yeah, it's okay. I was actually referring more to the year, as in whether 1990 to, 1991, for example. But it's okay if you can't remember.
bedada
You
ni
can
nga tre
move
hakilo
on.
ta muta no la zitenten no la
You've already told us that after being at the NIA for so long, you have a fair idea of how the NIA works.
biri ya fonye jang ko tumala men itarta NIA fo wati jang woto kule woku dalilo kan ye NIA je kume kumpa je fo ko ku bitamara je senari mal
You must also be aware of the jurisdiction under which it operates.
ndung hanin kabi fana ngabe senari fentes kumbale fitarle kumboro fana NIA la do ku bulol nying ila do ku bulol nying ya be taral fo hapu jumaro
Is that something you know?
fo kula de mel lomba ila do ko nying bulo ka danta damen do kata fo damen do
Ni mo belo.
Well, I don't know all of that.
I mean, do you know what work the NIA does as an NIA operative, working with the NIA for over 17 years? Do you know what it is actually, the NIA, what it does?
Ako NIA la do ko menti abi wala fa ya lo ne makaru tumala me ne do ko ke NIA membi da fa sanji tangani wora wula.
I should know that. Yes.
Yes, and that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Just in general, just give us a summary of what you believe the NIA does.
I sutia drum I fanu do mandim fana come NIA la do ko menti te mello.
NIA la do ko
The job of the NIA,
ayena kala menti.
but it should be
Collect information.
that's to collect information,
Kibaro.
as the Mandikas call it kibaro,
Kiskisi.
and to investigate
Atame.
and to try to separate false from truth,
Mansafta kamanse brifala.
and also whatever comes by, you brief the government
Anim banko.
and the whole country.
Olengele.
I know that.
And is this in respect of intelligence matters, for example?
Munda misal fe nyimu kullo maranyalti pillo kolti. Kibaru kullo maranya.
Baru kullo malanga.
Yes, as for information, yes, if I remember, I think that's what I have just started to explain.
Are you agreeing with me or not?
Intelligence.
Yes, I agree with that.
And as far as you know, did it stick to the jurisdiction of its work?
For it is the London NIA. Idanta ila do ko lwa mendi la puya do ko kada men fo iblo danta jeda ba.
Fukuwa.
La do ko bulo danta ila ko lwa dila nyame la do ko bulo danta wolto ba. Ita la London.
La London.
Yes, as far as what I know.
We have received ample evidence from witnesses during this theme to say that the NIA interfered in the work of other institutions.
Are you aware
of instances of such happening?
Yes, yeah, those things happen.
I'll give you a few examples and then you can agree with me or not. For example, we've heard that the NIA was turned into a debt collection agency. Where basically claimants would go to NIA officers and then lodge a complaint to them, asking them to recover debts.
Damendo yalonko moni moti mo julobe tarlete ma mealonko atel juloba atele julo soro modo la ta ena ay kanindo ka fo ena liya ma ko pour ay ala julo soro mo kari bulu.
Debtors would then be arrested, detained, and in some cases even tortured in a bid to actually recover these debts. Are you aware of such situations?
Jeto fo fanala ni ko membe laro nyama isaje sita o mari no kam yalonko julo be minini atele kamoda yeta aresna ya nati ya tajire ya isaje me ya mari samba jasari mari sala julo soro no mari bulu fo yo kala mudala wasifal
ngamwel.
Yes, I used to hear that.
And do you agree that this was not within the purview of work of the NIA? It was not in their jurisdiction?
Sa isonda nyinna ko o misal sifal ko ay mem foten sante wol mu do kullet me alon ko wol man NIA la do ko fon ko luwa ya landi nyamen.
Yes, I agree with that.
Do you agree that this was purely a civil matter for the courts?
Isonda nyimmal ko nyimu moni mote molti andu men dameto nyanda o nyin jarala wolto mo kiti bumdati.
Yes, I agree with that.
We have also received evidence to say that the NIA also interfered in the work of the police.
Andunga kibaro fana soro memu sede yar do janko NIA fana keta molde mi alon ko hani kabi manda woro fana ke dabula police la do ko kono la yo fana yo munafsoto woro fana fayo moy
Ngo fana moy.
Yes, I hear that also.
And they would investigate crimes which they were not actually trained or equipped to do.
E ka kulta ke kisikisi me ya lonko me karandi wolondo sifa fa wala pour ka kuzen kisikisi ka wol fanan kele.
Yes.
Yes.
We have heard of situations where NIA officers were used to score personal vendettas.
Sorry.
Anga nyin kibaro fanan soton ko ning NIA do kulani modo dunta nyola itelekawa o NIA kawleta ka kesembo ti purka o mari tilimbalia kasembo tamandia mari kan. Yes, I used to hear all those things.
So people would have personal problems which they would report to the NIA, and the NIA would be used basically to deal with enemies or opponents.
Mol damal ka du nyola le mo do sitaje comme ay molo nje etaje ay NIL dabula nje NIL saje si dabula je pour ka sembo ta ka law mari kandrom pour il faut la kun nafaka.
Yes,
yes, I used to hear that also at the place there.
Yeah, even though we also have an agency that deals with the issue of drugs, investigation of drugs, seizure, as well as prosecutions, we have also heard that the NIA was also intruding in that area.
Ano nya banko kanjanga doku bunda soro me alonko walla mata roko maranya nyim banko kanin ka kele muhan kabi kibaro fanan soro jango mata sede andul soro ko NIL ke dabulo kusiwal fanan dolo ke dabula roko tamandri bulo banko kanjang.
Yes, no.
Yeah, that's also true.
We have also received evidence to suggest that the NIA had a culture of incommunicado illegal detention.
Anin kabinga se kibaro fanan soro ko NIL ada kilimbe wala nyindi ni momoda ya sindi dula kile wala ka mara dula kile ani mobu ka diam ka fa incommunicado ani moda diam la ani moda kachala han fen.
As well as torture.
Anin kabi anin tajire ya.
Especially in highly politicized cases.
Surtout case sol ben yalon ko politico bakon.
Is that correct?
As
far as you know.
Yes, that's true.
We have also received further evidence to suggest that the NIA was used as a tool to satisfy the personal desires and also the politics of Yahya Jammeh.
Anin kabi fana sede andro fana soro janko NIL mu dingiral molki mu nafanjela isaje nyin kamala ko kumi alon ko politiko ba kon andum Yahya Jammeh ni mo me alon ko iba kelo nyin kono politiko kono me alon ko pour ka Yahya Jammeh sewondira ko nyin kono no NIL ke dabula ne jere don kawmari nyi dete pour Yahya Jammeh ka sewondi.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think this is common knowledge, and everybody knew this. It was something that was rumored in public, and it was something everybody knew. But I would like to go into the specifics of your own employment at the NIA. Just tell us the nature of your job and also your personal experience as to what you personally witnessed and heard during the time that you were at the NIA. So we'll just start with your own job. Can you tell us on a day-to-day basis what you were doing at the NIA?
Silang ngai membe fota nyu bem kula me ko kula ka munu bango ka mobe ka munu ka fonyo e bar silang nsiboro ngara ite fongola ko ro ila lumo ndo ko nyin akatama nyame ka kenyame NIA jeron sinana wor.
Okay.
Yes.
De sonda
As for me, in the morning,
inada
when I go to the office,
7:40 or 7:30 in Kasain.
I arrive 7:40 to 7:30. I will sign the book.
Sign.
After signing,
breakfast ke.
I will go and have breakfast.
Breakfast ke.
After breakfast,
assessment ke.
I will do my assessment.
Along go B.
And I will know that today,
at least 10 or 15 then
I will know that either 10 to 15 vehicles should be ready today, which is based on the conditions of those vehicles. The ones that have serious problems will be left pending. This is how I work.
Please continue.
So,
after that, then I will call my mates. I will separate them two to a vehicle. And when the vehicle is ready, before it departs, I will call them and tell them to ignite the engine of the vehicle, so that I can listen to the noise from the engine.
Mr. Sane, sorry to interrupt you, but your job entailed maintenance and repairs of vehicles at the NIA.
Ila dogo abe kono wala nyindi motor nying ni ello ndingol so ke dara ke topo ke topoto ka dada NIA je
Ndaka bele kaje.
I do a lot of things there.
Moto machine nyi nka bol abinya nka je nyen nga fonfe alunga machine kono nka bele ka.
What I do sometimes is to completely dismantle a whole engine and again rearrange it. I do a lot of things there.
But it's all within that area of maintaining and repairing.
Abebe murungkando ko nyine ko na maintenance and ka
I don't want us to spend a lot of time here because we have so much more important things to talk about.
malla fi ngame nyim fanna do la jankadum fanna jamal be nyen men kacala nite
Gold of time.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. This covers everything.
Thank you very much. And during the course of your employment as a mechanic at the NIA, did you have cause to interact with other departments of the NIA at all?
What do you do call NIA yeta do call a mechanic or about a minimum feedad? For Ika water sort of Purika ida bula do Kubunda do la Meman NIA, Ikate double do Konaba.
No, that's not part of my job. Mandika proverb says, if you know where you are going, you should know where you are from. So that's what I saw. I saw yesterday and I saw today. This is why during my tenure, I have to keep an eye and keep mind on everything. There's nothing which is hidden except Allah's greatness. If you are living today, think that tomorrow, whether you are a Muslim or not, whatever you are able to do for people, give help based on Allah. Don't think that whatever good I do for people, I should be repaid. This is why I decided to think of tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sane. Did you have any opportunity to interact with the investigators, for example, at the NIA?
Misal fe fo inar na har jesro la puru ni menumbe marlin kiskisro kunyala NIA jedo puru ini iblo nyodum ini iblo nyodum blo kono ba
ni man la ni mix.
No, I don't want to mix with them.
What about, did you have an opportunity to arrest anybody?
Sa ndum fo inar na har jesro la puru kam momuta ba
ani sa kumakila ngum fa ole mo rek man ka kawn rek.
Still, just as I said, that's the same thing.
What about detention?
Mudarodum kamo mudaka sindidlo akilindu.
Kamo mudaka sindidlo akilindu.
No, I have never done that.
Have you ever participated in any torture at the NIA?
Nana da bula tajire ya to jelbang NIA jeba.
Ikamenu lipa misali kama.
Liparo aningi dimindiri kodol.
No,
I will not do that. I hail from the provinces, so I know what I'm doing.
The people from the provinces don't torture? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, trees look alike or fruits look alike, but they may be different.
I think that's a more accurate statement because I think we have seen a lot of torturers from the provinces here.
If you come from the provinces, they have names there. I'm from Jara. Or from Badibu. Let's go to Badibu. I don't go to Badibu.
So,
now, how can you know that? This is it.
It's all right, Mr. Sane, we'll proceed, but let's not make any stereotypes. What about any other human rights violations? Were you involved in violating anybody's rights at the NIA whilst you were working there?
Me, what I always do is to help. That's all what I do.
We would like to warn you that the investigations into the NIA are still continuing, and there's a likelihood that we could receive further evidence implicating you or any other person, so therefore we would like you to be truthful.
Hanin kabi beya marla nyinna ko hanin kabi NIL la karola kiskiziro abe kontineni renka kejede so odalilo kan asikeno ito sinana findi dingira ro me alon ko be ito be dunnaje wodo hanin kabi be dandela la nyinkan isito nyafu
ne ko mara ko ala kidiyelde.
If that happens also, I'll know that it is a decision by Allah.
Ni man ko kutela.
But if you don't do anything wrong, then nothing wrong should happen to you.
And therefore you maintain you have done nothing wrong whilst you were working with the NIA.
wodo hanin kabi be sabatirin dame to men sabatindi ilaw diamo ko wala nyindi ko e man kuke me alon ko ani silo manta wato men be do ko NIA.
Okay.
Yes.
However, Mr. Sane, what is clear is that after 17 years at the NIA, you definitely witnessed human rights violations. Is that correct?
But hanin kabi o nyaonya sanji tang aning gorowula kola wato mene do ko NIA je tonya inya sede yata hadama dingol la nyet tinyal me alon ko aketa boyta mol kanje NIA je foto nyan
Tonyaldi.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, please share some of your experiences with us, starting with the case of Lamin Sane. Tell us what happened, what you observed.
silang damuta ya fonyem bang e misalo dina ka damuta ning Lamin Sane la ko to menketa je
Lamin Sane
As for Lamin Sane,
de maroto
with the help of Allah,
around 8:30 or 8:20.
it must be from 8:20 to 8:30.
In the morning or in the evening?
somanda fo wularo la
Somanda.
It was in the morning.
Can you tell us the dates if you can remember?
lungo nying hakilo samudan wala ba ning atray hakilo samudan
Lungi meñinarol.
I forgot the day.
The year?
sangodum
I forgot the year too.
Okay. And who was Lamin Sane? Did you know him before?
imala nyum nyin Lamin Sane de yalo nenu janni wo bang
Don't fonta natema. Mbadi ngola.
He is my relative even. Not that I know him. He is my relative.
Where did he work?
abe do ko la min dole
Works.
Minto?
Director of Works.
He was the director of works.
During what period, if you can remember?
kabo sanjuma kata fo sanjuma ni ha tare hakilo samudan no
Lamini al karebe koldo.
Huh?
Lamini al karebe abe koldo.
Lamin did all his career at that place.
And would that be PWT? D, sorry.
won fo le la PWD ti bang
PW falnda utola.
It was the PWD which changed and they called the place Department of Works.
Very well. Please tell us what happened to him.
afanya bang muna keda la nyin Lamin Sane la
Lamini Sane
Lamin Sane,
ala de maroto.
with the help of Allah,
Tara mfin kafenti banda.
I was going out of the place.
Dasa mo nankana.
I went and bought breakfast and I was returning back.
Which place are you referring to?
ebe min dole ko mo fo kantang dingira juma
Inae.
The NIA.
Okay.
Bedunka.
When I was entering,
Ngaje ngamoto sute.
I saw the vehicle and I recognized the vehicle.
Ngaye mudo from bakoma.
I saw another vehicle behind it.
Go fa nyin ka nyi moro ngaye sutel.
I said to myself, I recognize this vehicle.
And which vehicle was it?
akira no muta jumalti
Pick up.
It was a pickup.
I found a small car, black one.
And his own private car was a small one, a black one.
Who are you referring to?
atele mu jumati ebe jumal la ko mo fo ka
Lamin Sane.
Lamin Sane, I'm talking about.
Please proceed.
tenteng
So ala de maroto.
With the help of Allah,
Ngaje ajire na mudo kono.
I saw him alight from the vehicle.
Anala poso.
He was wearing his suit.
Nyako nda office le rek ngona data mo start yen sama nanja.
He told me that, well, I went to my office, I went in and I started to have my breakfast, but then I was picked and brought here.
So ngaye munekata.
I asked him what has happened.
Nyako ndam from malum folo.
He said to me, well, as far as now, I don't know as yet what is the reason.
Nganya funda balon la.
I said to him, well, okay, by the grace of Allah, we will know.
Beje
You were there,
lo boita.
then we were there till dusk.
Men fam moy.
I didn't hear anything.
La pas fosi ngam besela.
When it was time, when it was around 4 o'clock, I wanted to go home.
Men say no.
I cannot go home. I was unable to leave.
Badia.
because of my relationship with him.
Miyama.
If they touch him,
Nko miyama.
the person who touches him
Askeno ma.
might touch me also.
No pode.
What happens to him might also happen to me.
Yo, so nko fa madu stay for Janin 6.
I said, okay, I am going to stay up to 6.
6 sita.
When it was time for 6 o'clock,
Ngaje akika kabunang invest akana samat light detents.
I saw them taking him out of invest and they took him to light detention.
Please, Mr. Sane, you know we are not working at the NIA, so some of these jargons we are not able to understand. What is invest and light detain?
Ya ntol manda do ko la NIA. Niko into sudun sifal din tol asike non talon nola. Niko invest muna woti and niko light detention wala mundi.
Ya invest olon ko kisis dilado.
Invest stands for investigation. The place who are responsible to investigate matters.
Okay. And you said light detain, but you meant light detention as well.
Ya samana bundado mi an ko jëm nga selo de jëm sal bundado ni dunda bundado gon beje sanne gi fale.
They brought him to a place where there is a big parlor with other rooms. It is nowadays that the place has been changed. But at that time, that's where they brought him.
Do you know why that place is referred to as light detention as opposed to other forms of detention?
Light detention.
What I know about light detention, I personally slept there. If they take you there, before they do anything about your affairs, they will take you there. Now you will stay there and they will investigate about you. So during that, it took 2 days. I didn't hear anything. I went to him and I said to him, Lamin. I told him we are of the same blood. We are from the warrior clan. I said to him whether it is death, whether it is something peaceful. Since I came to the NIA here, I have never even visited Invest to know what happens there. I said to him, but for now, let me go and visit the place and talk to somebody there. I went there and found Lamin Mane. I said to him, Lamin Mane, we are all relatives. Sane and Mane are all the same. I want you to give me or hint me something about Lamin. Because calls were coming from every side. We don't know still what has happened. Even his family, today is 3 days, they don't even know where he is. I said to him today, if I don't know, there is a head. I will go to the head and ask him. He said to me, no, wait for the time being. I said to him, that's what I'm going to do.
Mr. Sane, you've already said that from your evidence, we know that he was already in detention for about 3 days.
It
was my explanation.
How many days was he in detention for?
I spent 1 month there.
From there?
And from what you've said, it was also incommunicado detention. He was not allowed to access or contact his family.
Yes, but the day I became ready, I said to him today, they will dismiss me, or they take me to mile 2. Your family, plus your close relatives, I will tell them.
Oh.
That.
Will the money steady?
For them to let them steady their minds. So that they will know your condition. I said to him that I'm going to your mother. She's at Brikam and I'm going there. I'll go to your wife at Kotu. I'll tell them that you have been arrested and detained here.
Can you tell us what the conditions of detention were for Mr. Sane?
What the condition of the
detention?
Ako foi sa fono commission ala maraloni ala al halon be nyaadi len.
Somebody who is used to easy life, who doesn't know what is suffering. If that person goes into hardship, well, that changes the whole situation. Akabanyadi. Yes, the body will, the person will lose weight.
Do you know if he was maltreated at all?
Yeah, na foi la londor foi ya muta nyala mi anko maranya jawolem ba.
What I realized, somebody who used to sleep on a bed, any type of food he wants, that's what he will eat. And he'll go to a place and see somebody. Huh? That's another way of suffering.
And what about torture? Was he tortured during the 1 month he spent at the NIA?
What kare kilimo wicho nyimmen kona ke NIA fo ya tajire ya ba wala mfo ya lipala ba. Mina jele.
I'm coming to that.
Can you please answer the question and then maybe you can explain?
No, he was not beaten.
There.
There.
At the NIA?
NIA.
Yes, at the NIA.
Apart from the NIA, did he go to any other place?
Ninga bota NIA, for dingira do soron tala ya samba damen fanamba.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Mafanya odo ba?
How did he come to leave the NIA and go to that particular place?
Akeno da nyadi la NIA sansan nyimbula narana dingira nyinto.
Kumala sudia kamala.
To shorten the explanation, when they know that I am involved in this matter, they took him away from there.
Mile 2.
They took him to mile 2.
And this was after a month of detention at the NIA.
Yes.
How long did he spend at the mile 2?
What did you see mile 2?
Mile 2 nunga date for asingafani.
If I want to mention a date, I might tell a lie. According to my thoughts, he spent a long time too at mile 2.
And after he spent time at mile 2, did you eventually see him again? And at what point did you see him?
Mile 2.
I saw him. I decided to risk whether it is life or death.
Please go ahead and tell us what happened when you saw him.
Also for that, it was in the morning. I went to my boss, whereby every time who happens to be the DG, Numo Kujabi, whenever I go there, I see him. So I saw that I went to him. I told the orderly to inform him that I want to see him. According to the Mandinka proverb, if a drummer steps on the drumming stick, nobody will see it. He refused to see me that day. I told the orderly that. Tell him that. I say that today I will see him. Even if he leaves here in the morning at dusk or dawn, I just want a word from him. 1 or 2 words.
Did you eventually speak to Numo Kujabi?
ko nyim nyala ba nyim fo inata na diamu numo en nambang
alo sewo do bayda
Yes, because he must have to go home.
ci de bundal to
I sat down at his door.
min ko nyoko tan tabanda odrini
The orderly told me to go out.
yalon ko ndo ko na intraje
The person, and that person found me there.
ka no problem banda yalon be kan dotla
I said, okay, but as for the outside, we are equal there.
insemeta fenso bala ye
I went out and I leaned on the fence.
ngay ko
I said to him,
nyinna ko
as for this matter,
lefta lonna
that's what I want to know.
na be finna
When it is going to be black,
ay fin
let it be black.
na bo koyla
If it is going to be white,
ngalo
so that I will know the situation.
ko nya minja minna
What he told me was,
nyin ore bura santola
this order came from the top.
ngay top minto
I asked him, top from where?
akonya ko ke baya
He said to me, from the elder.
ngay ko say almost 1 month every day I came a mile too.
I said to him, now,
Please tell us who this elder was.
wala nyim kebade
Ako ya jamme.
he said that was Yaya Jammeh.
So Mr. Sane was arrested and detained at the NIA on the instructions of Yaya Jammeh.
amunta nyimmi sasana me mulamin sana de ya muta ya samba ena inara sound mile tu ya jamela kangoka
Ah, for la for.
Yes, as what they told me.
Okay,
Ay ko
please.
bismillah.
I said, okay.
tenteng
Kay ko
I said to him,
fero failal.
something must have to be done.
Na tara ko atibula.
If they are not going to release him,
Amen charge.
and they didn't charge him,
Ay lulu nkaje ikabunam mile too ikasamana.
every day they will go for him, pick him from mile 2 and bring him.
So say
Now,
nara fo nye lamine ko.
and I told Lamin,
Ngalam ko inka nyame.
I said to Lamin, what is going to happen?
Kay ko nyamante.
Akiradi,
Kay o nyamante.
the way things are going is not the right way.
Kay ko say 1 month.
I said to him, now it's 1 month.
He may charge.
They didn't charge you.
Men fem foye.
They didn't tell you anything.
Kibunam mile too.
They take you from mile
Mo
2.
dena no kesman so kono. Kesman office.
Just like a baby, they bring you here to the office.
Kasi ni gele from 8 o'clock
They make him sit down there from 8 in the morning
to 5 o'clock.
till 5.
And in your view, Mr. Sane, was that correct procedure? Was it wrong?
o itelo miro do tamandiri bulo nyinga kanyame fo atilindala ba
Ni koko otumo nyame.
The way that things were,
Lamini
as for Lamin,
nakadam si flala.
we talk in 2 ways.
Can you tell me whether that was unlawful or whether it was lawful? The fact that you said he had been there at the NIA for over 1 month, he wasn't charged with any offense, and then he was taken to mile 2.
amen nyini ngawala nyindi ko foi sa fo don commission fo silo nyi tamandiri bulo nyi kamen samba kan atata NIA fo karikili ya bondi NIA ya samba mai tu fana tarta wodo fo tamandiri bulo kamen samba ta lamin kan fo mu woni luwa ta tala ban fo
On lo amenta ko.
No, that's quite wrong.
And do you know whether before he went to mile 2, they took him to court, whether there was a court order actually remanding him there?
la londo fo ya landa fana janni ba mon la NIA ka samba mai tu fo ya samba kitiyo la bam kitiyo la narana kaudi wala nga court order fundu ka di ka fo ko eta mai tu eta sije fo lo ba
Oto do mon solo.
No, that never happened.
And after he was brought back from mile 2, did you at any point observe anything that was wrong with Mr. Sane?
biri ya boni na mai tu ya nati fo ila korosiro we darna en fontandi la suute abala la ban kaytandi ko kuude nyinde kuba bala mi alon ko manyin suute abala
Ah, ala demaro ngaw sudel.
Yes, I observed something about him.
Please tell us what you observed.
fo nyambang yemuna suute abala
Demaro abjiga mo do kono.
One day he was alighting from the vehicle.
Oto ba escort kan.
He was being escorted.
Where was he coming from?
kabona minto
Abona mile too.
When he was brought from mile 2,
Ida mo do kono.
he alighted from the vehicle.
Because ngal ko ni nakana
And I know that whenever he's coming,
because mi kala kama
the people who go to pick him up,
ga fnyo ngala kama nan.
they inform me that we are going for Lamin.
Fana kana le ngana dula nga wire nga bato.
I will leave my workplace and come around and wait for him at the place where he will have to pass by.
Ay blow ajida la demaro.
After he alighted from the vehicle,
Ay blow dumulu.
he shook hands.
Ngay lamin.
I said to him, Lamin,
Ngay alawar.
I said to him, Allah is great.
Ngai Lamin,
I said to him, Lamin,
munin neketa.
what has happened?
Amson diamula.
He refused to talk.
Why did you ask him that particular question?
Mune asa wiya nyinin
What did you
karo.
observe about him?
Ye mune korosi ala kuro.
Ala de maro.
Because with the help of Allah,
Nga buro diala.
if I shake hands with him, if I give him my hand,
Nga fenne suti abala.
I recognized something, I observed something about him.
That is what we are asking. What did you observe, Mr.
Lafta ka wala long. Lafta wala na ke nyinin ka. Ye mune korosa bala.
Alon ala.
You know Allah,
Anko mobala bela.
yes, he doesn't deny you everything.
Fenne ditela.
He will give you something
Fenne karda.
and give something else to another person.
Nali abole.
If you put it together,
Ake fembati.
it will become something big.
Abla ibro dumbulu.
When he shook hands,
Ngai Lamin.
I said to him, Lamin,
Ay met linye.
you are not truthful to me.
Belore benjibi bella moy kan.
The others were standing and listening to me.
Ngai min kireje.
I asked him, what happened to you there?
Ngai ko ima fanya.
He didn't tell me that.
Ko.
I said to him,
Lamini.
Lamin,
Lamin mane dubi Lamin mane.
there was another person called Lamin Mane.
From twice jinti.
He was the 2IC.
Ngai ko mbade.
2IC to what?
After moving to 2IC,
Sukura jamme.
it was 2IC to Sukuta Jamme.
And who was Sukuta Jame?
Jumala munyin sukota jamete.
Wala mu osi jinti.
He was the OC,
Of what? Department?
Dulda Juma,
Investigation.
at the investigation department.
Ngai ko.
I said to him,
Ngai ko ku ka nyame dal ma kontan.
how things are going, I'm not happy about it.
And you also said, Mr. Sane, just to take you back, that you said something happened to him there. Where are you referring to?
Ye infana mfola kumo kono ko kule ketala je. Ibe min toltola.
No, ani kabal bu dina ngalong.
Iko kule ketala je. Minto je.
Mile 2 long for NIA.
Mile 2.
Yes, it was at mile 2.
Okay. Did he eventually tell you what happened?
Ko nyinyala ma fa ya fo na ba menketa ba.
Dum wata fono nanye.
At that time, he cannot tell me.
Did you eventually get to know?
Nyala ba nyi na na londa ba menketa la ba.
Na lumni kadala.
Yes, I came to know what happened to him.
Please inform us.
Fanyam bang.
So mo kono
We are there.
gay ko nye ko nga fala musole ko pour bi
I informed his wife that today,
e kala mero for mo fati for won ko tunis e ko amando maroke.
they said it was 1 week or more. His mother didn't eat.
Mr. Sane, kindly inform us about what you got to know about what had happened to Mr. Sane first.
Silang afanyam bang ko nyi be nyala bang ina na munelo Mr. Sane la menketa la follow.
Ngal no ko
I know that.
ya butel.
He was beaten.
Ya butel nyame
And the way they beat him,
den ko bala.
he was wearing a shirt.
Den ko min bala
The shirt he was wearing,
ya butel nyame
the way they beat him,
me binte fo ndo fe fo no.
I cannot say anything about it.
So kono
In that,
Can you tell us who beat him and where he was beaten, if
Isa
you know?
fo no nye jumale ya lipandu ya lipa mintole.
no ngalo ngo
I know that
ya bude mile tule
he was beaten at mile 2.
because me sam ko ya bude mile tule
The reason why I said he was beaten at mile 2,
because yalo kabinga je period kono
Kabiriaje,
ko nyin kono
when I saw him in this problem,
muta bosia
I went back to my boss.
kay ko
I said to him,
lamen
as for Lamin,
belo diala
please arrange a bail for him.
no ndam na fala jene
He might die here.
ko ko sani yoro nyadi
He said to me, Sane, how do you know that?
kay kabina ta jang
I said to him, since I came here.
nde kabira atinata
Since he came here,
mami mbe fode
all I told you,
ka jele
you always see that.
Mr. Sane, was he eventually released? Was Lamin Sane eventually released from the NIA or from Mile 2?
Mr. Sane ko nyi be nyala bang nyi fo Lamin Sane ina na bula mile tule bang warantu fo ina na bula NIL bulu bal. Fo ina na bula le.
ya bulale odumo watu bato abola
They left him, but at that time, he was just waiting for death.
And what do you mean by that? What was his condition at that time?
Ilo koto muneti ala halo nyi be nu nyaadi le wadi.
Alo na joya mirodo.
Well, as a human being,
Moko fal titanani. Abelona otamaka.
somebody's soul can depart, and that person will remain among humans for 40 days.
And his condition, then, what are you saying was the cause of that condition? The fact that the only thing that remained for him was death.
Alo alhalo nyimbenu nyadi le fo memba isa tandile le ko alhalo sa mentu da jere wala mfati muna alhalo nyinda benu nyadi le
Momo la minje.
Anybody who sees Lamin,
Yaji kunu.
you happen to see him the day before,
Yaji bi.
and you see him today,
Ina jibe.
and you look at him properly,
Ifa Lamin jibe.
and I observed Lamin
Pakoida.
properly.
What was responsible for that? That's what I'm trying to get from you.
muna nkonyi sababu oti lafta ka wala long
Angule ko ya bude jele.
What I said is that he was beaten.
And according to you, you were saying that he was beaten at mile 2.
ko ya fanyame ko ya bute mile tule
Maitule ha.
Yes, at mile 2.
Usnalo
Lamin
nyame.
Sane was at the NIA for a whole month. Is that correct?
namin sana tarta NIA bo min bida fo curriculum fo walndam
Abul nyama.
Yes, that's what happened.
Having sworn on the Quran, can you tell us for sure that he was not beaten at the NIA?
ko e kal alquran wala nyame fo ila ta nyinelo ko imama andu ima lipa e wato mena be NIA
Ina
At the NIA,
ina sabu ngwe mama.
the reason why I said that he was not beaten,
Ntela jeroto.
what I observed,
Kos kabirinda da sa yaje ko.
when they realized that,
Sa impo ko bela kono.
now I am ready for anything in this matter,
Diabeje.
whether it is going to be peaceful,
Diabeje.
whether it is going to be troublesome,
Sabu.
that resulted into,
Wala sabu ya bail fam.
this is why in fact he was granted bail.
Kos kabime slokan.
because when on our way
The question was,
in
can you tell us
feza fo noni
for sure whether or not he was beaten at the NIA or
fo
not?
wato akwete malabang fo ya lati ila tala bang wato mena be NIA fo ya lipa bang kanyini kawla
Can you swear to that?
isi kali no wala bang
Ben kalala.
I'll swear to it.
So as far as you know, he was only beaten at mile 2.
ko rete alo nyame ndro amang sene ade wala ya lipa mile 2 ronne
Because kabinga samba.
Yes, when they took him,
Suo kono.
when I took him home,
Alamu suo.
his wife,
Akaye ko pra samba leptanoto.
okay,
Pra samba leptanoto.
told her to take her to the hospital.
Leptanoto.
At the hospital,
1 week.
after 1 week,
Ya transfer ko deke.
he was transferred again
Leptanoto ko deke.
to a hospital.
Okono.
And during that period,
Wolu nkrajele.
I went there every day
Naga kacha.
and I chat with him,
After fanata ko wole kata.
and he told me that that was what happened.
Because kabaya father fang.
Even when he died,
What happened, please, Mr. Sane? He told you that is what happened. Can you tell us what he told
ko
you?
e wala kita sila nga fonje ba men ko men fo ko wala kita
Ko nyelo ko.
he said to me that
Yembudele.
I was beaten.
Kaye budele.
I said to him, you were beaten?
Kaye munyag le bude.
I said, what kind of people beat you?
Ko nyeko yalo sudolan.
He said to me, you know, it was in the night.
Kaye ko imolu ibe tamaso nyolal bang.
And I said to him, can you describe these people to me?
Lakra ko ma sarete ye.
After the year after, there is no other settlement.
Mo do fo nunye.
And he could not tell me anything about
Ni ko
that.
ifem fem
He said they were dressed in black.
Kaye black on the bang.
I said to him, hope these are not the black.
Askeno ay kelti.
He said it could be them.
Kaye ko.
And I said to him,
Natro ko yalo milimu.
if at all you knew who they were,
Kaye ko neon tembe ko fo dial.
then to talk about it would have been easier.
Mr. Sane, we've heard evidence that usually what happens is that you are referring to the black. Usually they remove people from Mile 2 and take them to the NIA premises where they are tortured. Is that what happened in this case, or are you saying that are you still maintaining that he was tortured at Mile 2?
Sasa nga kiseda ndilo sura janko black kullem bari tol ni black sul itol kata kata Mile 2 le mol body Mile 2 ye samba NIA te tajire ya woro bari sa ite han ka bi fobe lo ni kango kafu ko atelami sana ate itatata tajire ya mate tata liba Mile 2 le
All of you.
That was what he told me.
Nasra kwa fara Mile 2 le.
If I told he died in Mile 2,
Ndafalo nyama.
I wouldn't have said it that way.
Afi nyama
The way he told me
franka falo nyama.
is the same way I am telling you here.
Thank you very much. And what happened eventually with Mr. Sane?
mona narna ke Mr. Sane la ko ni nyala ba
Mona balu.
He did not survive.
Ulu lala.
that day
Militata jamoto.
Those that went to the mosque,
And fi kotu.
Which day are you referring to?
be lo njuma la
Murafata.
when he died,
And what was the length of period between when he was released and his death?
ko ni jamfo be nyoy nyaade bri ya bula aninga fata wato mina le jamfo be nyoy nyaadi de
Ngaron dal 10 days so now see femin lawkan.
what I know is if it's 10 days, then it is, if it is not 10 days, then it cannot be more than that.
Because alam fo be awka amonfa.
Because his wife is here, Awaka, she's still alive.
And can you tell us what you believe was the cause of his death?
sa ifo sa fo no nyawi de la muna mala de sa ya sababori
Di baro.
The beating,
Was jamoto.
because at the mosque,
The mama monfa.
the imam is still alive.
Bibi la bari lato.
Those who went to the cemetery,
Alon ko jama be jebe monfa.
many of them are still alive.
Because yaje mo be ajel ko.
Everybody saw that.
Ya arab monfa kono.
The cloth that he was wrapped in,
Yellow yellow la.
you could see the blood stains.
Militara bari lato.
Those who went to the cemetery.
So ko la ron yam.
That was the way things were.
So the wounds that were inflicted on him during his torture were still fresh.
amunta bar mol nyimbe alon ko ay so wato min ya lipa han kabi o bar mo nyibe kuta yarin
Ha.
Yes.
Baro mo je ngaje ko fanu ko aw uletel.
We did not see the injuries, but the white cloth was having red stains.
Thank you very much. And who do you hold responsible for his death?
itela mi lo ite ya ite be jumala jalaila ka fo wala marling ala saya sababola
Government nango.
It's the government.
Masakundale.
It's the government.
You told us that he had been arrested and detained on the personal instructions of the ex-president Yahya Jammeh. Is that correct?
ye fonye janko ya mutala ya samba ya sididula killing anu akata menna kan wala president Jammeh kan yo la fonye fo
Akata walti.
Yes, that was it.
So do you hold the government responsible or do you hold him responsible?
silang ibe masakunda ibe wala jalaila ban fo be ya Jammeh jalaila du noni
Ni masakunda to jarre.
I will not blame the government.
Ajame mo jarre.
It's Yahya Jammeh that I blame.
Ya funde nyame ko.
Because the way that they told me,
Ndara fa ngo numo ko.
I said to Numo,
Ay go nyimni limbo sirine.
this man is residing with these people
Ya jibe ba maya.
inside with Yahya Jammeh's mother.
Ani nyin na kodra.
Yahya Jammeh's mother's compound and this man's compound.
Silo betem.
There's only a road between them.
Kay ko.
I said to him that,
Ni fa president point ko.
if you tell the president that,
Ya dinalo ko.
and make it known to him that
Nyima signolti.
this man is his neighbor,
An kuto ya na ngi ku ko min korek.
even if this man had done something which is not correct,
Yin na signal jibela.
he should consider their neighborliness.
Yin adewulu.
This man's children
Ani yin dewulu.
and this other person's children,
Le ka fa ka nyokan.
they are the ones that play together
O tuja.
in Koto here.
So nkai ko ofran fa ya parce que no abula.
I said to him, also put that to him, that may make him release this man.
Konyo ko.
He said to me that,
Foli to do nyin ko no interest le bam.
he asked me if I have any personal interest in this matter.
Guy this miye.
I told him the interest that is there
Guy na be blessed sade keline.
is that both of us come from the same village
Be konton kelin.
and we share the same surname.
So mbadi ngulang.
Therefore, he is my relative.
Nima lola kula.
If I do not stand for him,
Mo office mimbo da kay ko abdo ko jilam.
there is nobody from Kayaf in this office.
Guy kabinde na jang ina ya jang.
I told him since I came here to the NIA,
Mo to ye muda detention le melong tambila.
I found people that were detained here, but I used to just pass them because I did not know them. So the one that I know, I'll tell you, forgive this person and bail him. I told him, you do something for something. Go and tell Yajame that. These two statements. Tell him this. And tell him that this man is his mother's neighbor. And secondly, myself, this man is my older brother. It's not that we come from the same mother or father, but our fathers are related.
Yeah, Mr. Sane, thank you very much. I believe that some of the things you've said has already been established, and we're really sorry about what happened. I know that he was a brother to you, because you hailed from the same place. And you've already said that there are so many instances where you saw people being arrested at the NIA, you witnessed human rights violations, but you didn't know those people. But this time, the NIA hits close to home in your situation.
To nyala info janko enna wati jamal le jandu hadama di nyanta jamal tinyal le jamal le ketaje me dabula mento andu nyindo saying NIA natana na ite fawla bunda to ite fawla bunda konkon.
Yes, that happened.
And to date, do you know exactly what it was your brother was alleged to have done, which cost him his life?
Fokana bula ben beat lo men don hanin kabi fo ya lonne dalilo me ya sabu ye lain koromani ya muta fo ya muta ya sindidlo killing fo ya na tajire ya fon menna na sababu ala sayara fo ya lona menke ba
Malong, I don't know.
There was no document about it.
Okay, thank you very much. I would just like to move on to the 2006 Nurcham abortive coup.
Silam bida 2006 Nurcham la coup d'etat bayre ngonin na ko.
You told me of a particular incident that you witnessed. Can you just tell us briefly before we move on?
Ye kuma fonye dingira do me alon ko e ko ta fonya ya sede ya men keta je. Si fisi je kuma fono nyo dingira nyindo men keta woro bangala kuma la sutiyaka. Kuma la sutiyaka ma?
Briefly, I was passing. I was going to brief my boss. I found Bunja inside the waiting room. He was handcuffed. I found blacks standing over him.
Please tell us which Bunja you are referring to.
Major Bunja Dabo.
Of the Gambia National Army.
That is it.
Please go ahead.
And then?
I found him in handcuffs. The blacks were standing behind him. He called me. Out of pity for him, I could not pass, so I decided to stand and speak to him. I said to him, Bunja, how is it? He told me it's not okay. He looked at me and cried. I said, Bunja, what is it? And he said, they beat me.
Did he tell you who beat him?
At that time, he wouldn't say that.
At the time that he told you he was beaten, he was within the NIA premises, is that correct?
The white building.
Yes, the big building inside. Before, when you go in, there was a hole under. And there is a corridor, and you could climb upstairs on either side.
And you said he was also in the company of the black. Can you tell us what other name they usually refer to?
And you go what on black or ya kur. For yourself on black near black photo cotton do belaba.
Yes, there is another name nearby, but I forgot the name.
Can you recall the name Junglers?
They were the ones.
And you said you found him in the company of the Junglers.
He was sitting down and they were standing over him.
And do you know anything about the black or the junglers?
Oh, you could learn this black soul, warando junglers or la quarterback.
As I used to hear, that I heard it from people that they are the ones that torture people.
And you found him being escorted by the black, and he told you he was beaten, but he didn't tell you who.
Ya taraje to ko ene ni black or ni jongla sol wolle belora kunto ko ya nyininka bara mafo ko wolle me aliba kabe ya nyininka
no fo ni ko
I told you that. I said that. At that time, he couldn't have said that to me. I just used my head and concluded that. There were people I passed whom I did not ask. The reason why I asked him is because of the pity. You pity somebody because you know them.
Can you tell us why he wasn't able to tell you?
If he had said it there, what I am saying today, I wouldn't have been able to.
And why is that?
The reason for that, I'll be in a house. Oh, two things will happen. My family will suffer. And those that I also assist will suffer. That is why I passed many people before I got onto Bunja. When he said that to me, I was in a haste. It was as if you were whipping a horse. I was climbing the stairs hastily. I went to the bus.
So you were afraid, literally?
I was afraid.
And apart from that discrete issue about Bunja Dabo, do you know anything else about the 2006 abortive coup?
Ninga boda Bunja Dabo la ko nyinde fo ku do sarana sorondal yel do fana be jere ba ko yel ndo sura ko men sujida ni 2006 coup d'etat bayre nyinde ba ani Bunja ngatlo ne.
No, I knew Bunja.
Abrin nkumu manna NIA.
Even well before I got to the NIA. That was the reason why I stood and spoke to him. There were people who called me, but I could not call their names. I did not even want to speak to them.
Because
well, the reason was that because at that time everybody was cautious.
What is next?
But what is next?
And those people that you saw, were any of them tortured? Did they have the appearance of having been tortured? Or were they illegally detained, for example, as far as you know?
Yo mol men jeje ene alon ko imandi amwe fo fay tandi balo fay tandi la ba memba tandi le ko ye mala ye buté la waranto fo mol be jel me ko fo ye sindi jel ba men luanta yaka
ngalon ko
I knew that in my unlimited human thinking, all the people that were there, they weren't happy.
I didn't ask if they were happy or not. I asked whether or not they appeared to have been tortured.
I mean, you for the same word and for for ila korosiro da binya boite kan fo anate sun do makolo ba fo nyinde fo ye mala ban fo imema wala fo ye tajiriya ba ye lipa ba fo ime lipa
the others
go to ye male
at that time, yes, they beat them.
Thank you very much for that, but you cannot tell us who these people were or who beat them, can you?
Bara min baraba ka barita fo la jumal la nyimolde bari ju andu jumal fana ye bute.
At that time, each one was thinking about their life.
Did you know who beat them?
Yeah, ne banjumale lipabang.
I wasn't there.
I know you weren't there, but you've worked at the NIA for 17 years, and we've heard very notorious torturers being mentioned in evidence. Do you know any of them?
No, I don't know. I mantra nunje, but it do go and I remember for Sanjitang and Warula. In a multiple way, Jamialanko, Tajirila, Balam, Jaumo, Jowl, Malango, Nina, Tajiriala, Carola, and Kamu Lipa. For a more on Jelabang, even two for Noraba.
I also used to hear names being mentioned that such and such person is a torturer. Such a person is a torturer.
Where did you hear those names being mentioned?
You told me Mintola K. told for.
I heard their names from all corners.
Of the NIA, you mean?
NIA Banfo?
NIA Bandao.
Inside the NIA and outside of the NIA.
Can you tell us what names you heard?
I used to hear Tumbul's name.
Tumbul what?
Tumbul Tamba.
Tumbul Tamba.
Who else?
Aninjuma.
Malia
Mungo, I think.
What about any person who's actually alive and kicking right now, working at the NIA?
Sign them, sign them, do. For Buka Moto, Mojalango, sign them, a balloon, a Tamaka, single Amango, sign them, a Dokola NIA.
Sign.
Ha. Now.
Gamule, Alenin Tierra Sukono.
I used to hear it in the TRC.
About Kabingamwe.
And when I heard it,
Mamira, Amarin Okela.
I did not think that that person should have done that.
Because Najago, it comes enough Damo Santodo.
Because just as I said earlier on in my statement, anybody that came from the provinces.
Mr. Sane, I hope we're not going back to that statement you made about people from the provinces do not torture. What I wanted to know was that, I mean, after working at the NIA for almost 17 years, you want to tell us that the first time you heard the name of torturers was at the TRRC. I don't think anybody would believe that.
Come from Manjigin and the Murla Komakafuko, Momo Sandora, Kelanimu, Tajirela, Sival. But coming in Indigo, to Malamine Doko, and I remember for Sanjitang and Warula. He left off for a commission, he left off for a loco, in an amount Tajirela, more killing Tolo and Jamaica, Tajirela, Balamati, for commission Yatil, they left a Purmoela, Uraba, Koyam
Ni along Kumala Forado.
No, but according to what was said, they said that the one that is in the system. You know, two statements were made. The one that is in the system and the one that is not in the system. Those are the ones that will tell me. And then we look at them.
What system are you referring to?
The one that is in the NIA and the one who is not in the NIA presently.
And you were in the NIA, right? You were in the NIA and you're still at the NIA. So I'm trying to ask you whether or not you have received information in the course of your work there as to who these notorious torturers are. I'm sure it's spoken of very freely there.
Ko ito be NIA han kabi sa kami folem yindiko ila NIA taro wicho nyimbe kono sanjitang anu worolo wicho nyin kono fo ila ta fola ina na mamwe kafu ko nyimmo kare nyinde nyimmo lipara ballede ka wala nyinin ka fo ina na mo sifal moy bang
I heard those. If I say I did not hear those, it will be a lie.
Mr. Sane, can we have some names, please? That's what I'm after. Do you want to write it down on a piece of paper?
I'm not, it's not that. I am from
because I know that you are still working there, so perhaps you may have some. Can you freely speak about them in public?
I'll speak it out publicly.
That's, yeah, we would appreciate that if you can.
First off, I heard one person's name, whose name is Idrissa Job. I heard his name. After that, I heard another person's name, who is Lamin Dabo. I heard their names.
Where is Idrissa Job and Lamin Dabo?
Idrissa Job and Lamin Dabo. Sainteng ile.
Idrissa Job.
Idrissa Job. After the incident.
Which incident are you referring to?
After the change of government.
It's a job aborted.
It is a job runaway.
Is he known by any other name?
Idrissa Job tola. Photo kutendo balala ba.
The name that I know is a job, and I knew him a long time in Banjul.
Have you heard of the name Alaji Moore?
Alaji Moore to, ikaw to mo yala ba?
Alaji Moore to.
The name Alaji Moore.
I
used to hear it. But this other name is the first name.
Very well. And you said he ran away. Where did he run away to?
When a thief comes to your house and goes out, he just goes out.
What is your answer, Mr. Sane? I mean, where did he run away to? What country? I know you like to speak in parables and stories, but we would also like a direct answer to our questions sometimes.
But
I'll give you straight answers by the grace of God.
Thank you very much. I would really appreciate that. Please continue.
I heard also about Lamin Davo.
Where did Idrissa Job run to?
Idrissa Job aborta tara banku jumalto.
I did not have the interest of the country, but when he ran away, I knew that he ran away.
Do you know where he was running? I mean, what he was running away from?
This is what I'm telling you. An evil person. What he mixed up. Today is the day to narrate it. If I told he was here,
kindly help us interpreters, please.
Okay. You will not be able to sustain people.
You will not be able to sustain people.
So
I don't understand.
So I'm told.
I don't understand that interpretation. Can we have some more help?
It will not be enough. It will not be enough to people.
Perhaps you could ask the witness to rephrase.
Or maybe the witness can help us. What does it mean in English? Because he understands English.
I said, if I told he was here up to date, he will not, many people will be after him.
Okay. Do you know of any specific cases of torture that he was involved with at the NIA? Any specific cases?
Case bejel me alon ko ate fan kunno nyingo ko case ni sula batalo o case nyindo laba NIA
you know there
alon akama ko kewulo rek
Yes, please, interpreters. I see you're having difficulty today. Mr. Dabo, help us. They are not understanding your Mandinka.
Okay, no problem. Let me give you. Sai.
This is why I'm saying that.
It is a job.
It is a job. To make it short,
I mean
the things that he mixed up. If I told he was here seated, he would assist you people. So that the things that you are now asking me, the proceedings wouldn't have been long.
Mr. Sane, you know he's not sitting in front of me. You are the one sitting in front of me. So that's why I'm asking you to tell me if you know of any cases he was involved with. If you don't know, just tell me that.
Mr. Sana, come and follow me. Salaji mo manke mo de me anga tele besiri nyati ngono ja tele besiri nyati ngono ja nkenyi ni kamera wala nyindo ni atraite kuwo kulo me alon ko abulo nota ja abulo mata lale ye wala im lafta ye wala kusifa yo fonye ite mu long abulo nota mento me asabu fa borta
abulo
Mr. Sane, please tell me, give me a direct answer.
I'll give it directly.
Please.
Yes.
Okay.
Abulo.
His hand.
All
the people that came. What 2 or 3 people said, know that that is the truth.
That is not a direct answer in my definition. No. Please tell me, do you know of any cases or not? So we can move.
No. No. I used to hear.
That's fine. But you do know that he was a notorious torturer at the NIA. That bit you know.
Yes,
that was how it was reported.
Do you know if he was involved in that 2006 abortive coup?
Yeah, 2006
in torturing people?
Yes
or no?
I cannot say anything about that.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the Solo Sandeng case, the UDP case 2016. You were a witness to some of the events that happened. Please tell us what you saw.
Solo Sandeng.
Solo Sandeng.
No, UDP.
No, let me say the UDP. We were in the office.
Around after 4.
Around after 4.
Go for young call.
We were called
unit mall
to tell us that your unit
stay.
Tell all of them to stay.
Go stay.
And I said to them, why would they stay? What's happening?
Who gave the instructions for you to stay?
Operation.
Operation.
Who was operation?
Say Omar Jeng.
Okay, please go.
So I call Pumule Mobe stay.
He said that everyone should stay.
So Okono.
So during that,
we
were seated
for around 6.
Up till around 6.
Escort.
Then I saw vehicles escorting people inside.
So
vehicles were escorting people, or officers were escorting people inside the NIA premises?
There were paramilitary officers and our people, they were all there. And police officers.
Please tell me, amongst your people, who did you see? That is the NIA.
That day, I saw Babu Kotsala. I saw one called Huruhara.
Huruhara?
He's in remand at the moment. That is his nickname.
Is he a prison officer?
No, an NIA officer.
Okay. Babu Karsala and Huruhara.
Yes.
Any other person?
Also, I found Sir Omar Jeng.
So
and he said, he asked me if all my people are around, and I told him yes, they are around. And then he said to me, tell them not to go home.
Can you tell us what you observed about the people who were being escorted into the NIA premises?
What I observed, when I noticed that the people that were coming in were getting many, I went through the back. I said to them, possibly the people coming in, one of them may be my relative. Because many supporters of UDP are from Kenya. So I said to them, wait, let me go there. I went there. By the grace of God, as soon as I arrived, there was one particular boy. They call him Dede.
Just within 2 streets back.
He died about 2 or 3 weeks back. He held my hand and said to me, in my room, there is nobody there. I want you to go to my house and tell so-and-so person that someone should spend the night inside my room for me.
Did you observe anything about his appearance at that point when you were speaking to him?
Yes.
Please tell us what you observed.
When an elderly person is not happy, you would know that something is amiss. I said to him, Dede. He said to me, Bilai, I was beaten.
Did he tell you where he was beaten and by whom?
No, because at the time, we couldn't have discussed that. What he told me, giving me that instructions, I thought that very day, they could have even dismissed me then. Or I would be beaten also.
Can you tell us if you made any other observations apart from Dede? Did you observe the condition of any other person there?
Yes.
Please tell us.
I saw people there. They were not looking happy. And I knew that a hand touched them. And I passed.
So you were able to observe from the appearance of those people that they had been beaten?
Yes.
And do you know where they were coming from?
At the time they were coming from the parals in Kanifing.
In terms of after they arrived at NIA, can you tell us if you observed any other human rights violations that were committed against those people who had come from the paramilitary headquarters?
Korosiro la karola foye kudo korosi la karola ba memba e sabatin le sondo mo kono nyude kusoro la me alon ko yedi harmadi mo nyanto yela nyanto tinya ila kol kono.
And please give us direct answers.
Ndun jabiro dina me alon ko jabiro tilindi wala
ngalon ko nieji be balna ko ani luamenta
ha yemuna korosi la ko yela nyanto tinyale
ha ngamin cross
What I observed,
ila body language,
their body language,
ila face be nyame,
and the state of their faces, and I knew that they were not happy.
So
some were sitting on the ground. When you see an elderly person sitting on the ground or on a block, you would know that something must have happened to these people.
What do you know happened to them at the NIA after they were brought there?
What I know, in my limited human thinking,
around 8 mafang,
when night fell around 8, I am
Sudo ha. Long time.
I cannot sleep in the night for a long time. When it's 10 o'clock, I will lie down and then I get up to pray before the morning prayers. I was lying down in the house.
No, not house.
Inside the office.
Within the NIA premises? Okay.
I got scared and got up. At that time, the story building close to the seaside, they were building it, but it was not yet completed. That place was full, as if you had a large crowd there who are formed in a circle. I came out, stood by the veranda.
11.
At that time, it was around to 11. I heard screams. 3 types of screams. One was screaming in Mandinka. You will kill me. I heard another one.
The first scream that you heard, was it from a man or a woman?
That was a male voice.
And he was saying that you will kill me.
You will kill me.
Do you know why he was saying that and what was happening to him at that point?
If you hear an older person screaming, then something must be the reason for that.
And that is the reason we are looking for, Mr. Sane. Please, if you know the reason, tell us. You were there, you observed what happened.
No, I wasn't there. I told you I just sprang up from sleep and I went onto the veranda. When I came, I heard the screams. 3 types of screams. One was saying in Mandinka, you will kill me.
And tell us why he was saying that. Something must have been happening to him for him to say that.
That is beating. That is beating.
Okay, you know, we wouldn't know if you don't tell us. We were not there. And the second scream was from who?
The second scream, that was a woman. Her scream, you will kill me, please stop.
And what was happening to her at that point?
She was being beaten too. The third one also, I heard that. Wait for me, before you kill me, allow me to say it. I heard that too. I said to these people, I am going back. I went back to the former DG's office, to the office near to his office.
And were they all being beaten in the same room or place? Or was it different places?
No. No. Because the scream was in the room. One was not in the room. How did I know that? The one that was in the room. When the person screams, the voice of the scream, the sound of the scream, the way that it is amplified, and the one that is not inside the room, that was how I got to know that one was in the room and the other was not.
So there were different tortures going on simultaneously.
Yes, when I got up from sleep, the way I heard the screams.
Do you know who was involved in carrying out these tortures? Which NIA officers were involved?
Ya na majumal le tarda ka nyi tajire yake nyi mulla bara ka nyi mullipa NIA do kula jumal le tarda ka nyi muke mulla.
That very day,
Malong,
I did not know.
Because all
of them knew that I don't sleep much in the night. That is why I don't drive in the night. Because on 3 occasions I ran onto vehicles. I was sleepy. No, I have time for sleep. When it's 10 o'clock, I will lie down. Even for 1 hour, I'll get up. I'll pray. While I'm praying, and then I'll sleep again.
So you were not able to tell us who was involved in those tortures? But you said you eventually got to know after. Can you tell us who they were?
Bari ye mfanyela ko nyi nyala ba nyi inata na lonne jumal del tarda kanyimu liba afanyem ba jumal.
Angaru nyame.
How I got to know?
Was coming go for court.
When the matter got to court,
He told names.
their names were mentioned.
So
That was when I got to know that. Behold, these were the people who were torturing people.
Can you give us those names?
Told in naba.
Uncle told you then.
I'm about to mention the names. I had the name Sala. I had the name Huruhara.
Tell us what this, the first name was.
Just a second.
Yes.
These the names in the court now that we have constraint on. If that is the case, I think we should observe that. But I don't know if they had the names.
Let me just confirm with the witness. Are you Kubabaji case that is currently going on at the High Court?
Chairman kamen fola mnyindi ko phoning ada lafta kanyin tol mo mfaje wala mo de ben yalon ko wala be inkiti ko na sainte njana council kamen fo ni foebe yankuba baji na do nyo ko tango le ben kiti lan kiti bumbado foebo case le ba ambola.
If that is the case, then do not mention their names.
Ni ngadra wala moldi wor hani me tol fo awla
Because it's an ongoing case and we have decided not to mention their names. Thank you.
Kiti me yalon ko sainte abe tama kanne wala ya sabu man la fi pour ka mo ke tol fam ka fo jam fango.
Thank you. I think we can now move on. You have mentioned a lot of people that you have seen during the course of your employment at the NIA who were detained. I believe I'll just read them out for you and then you can confirm whether or not you saw them at some point being detained at NIA. You don't have much details concerning them, but just the fact that you actually saw them there and they were detained at some point.
Yeah, info jango wato mena ye wadi jango membeke do ko la NIA sanjitang ani woro ulo nyimbe kono ja ya fon nye jango ye mo jamal le na je ye sindije ke marandi ye fo wati jang silang ye tol dinnal no silang bina o tol lel fole jang ye kuma de killing ni ngadre hakilo mo motoron moron din to muta aku tol kono ngamen fo jang isa tonya yande.
You mentioned that you saw Ensa Baji, former IGP.
Ya fo ko ye Ensa Baji je me yaron ko atele munung police la nyaton kotinu.
Silaba Samate.
Nin Silaba Samate.
Fafa Sanyang, you said once Minister of Energy.
Fafa Sanyang me yaron ko anana kita na minister me yaron ko atele marlen tuluma fengol la.
Yes.
He was arrested with more than 20 other people, including Cherno Marina, the Solicitor General at the time.
Ya muta aning me alon ko beta bila mo amfangola be kono Solicitor General me alon ko Cherno ikafa Cherno Marina.
Pahari Jame.
Yes.
Pahari Jame.
Former Solicitor General.
Menna na kita nung Solicitor General ti.
You also mentioned the Imam Bakausu, who was detained twice.
Ye Imam Bakausu fanam fojang ko mola mate fanande ya muta sinyafla ka sindidlo akili.
Yes.
Sidi Ajata and Halifa Sallah of the Doi Party.
Sidi Ajata aning Halifa Sallah men yalon ko bota patiote ka me Doi.
Yes.
Usainu Dabo and Kemeseng Jame.
Usainu Dabo aning Kemeseng Jame.
Yes.
Many other people who you do not either remember or you did not know them personally were at some point either detained or maltreated, tortured at the NIA, and you observed it.
Animo koten Jamal me yalon ko dolbe je ite hakilote mutan wala fam me yalon ko ye nadi NIA je ye mutan ni nyala me yalon ko maral nya jawolam ye muta je nyame wato mene be maroko no je.
Yes.
And I believe you have already confirmed through the questions I asked you previously that illegal detention as well as torture was commonplace at the NIA. We have already established that.
Anu njikira nyinela ko ye intuanya yandile ko mantonu kabringe nyiningaro ko nyiningaro la ko mantonu ko NIA nuntonu menu beke membe keri ni nyolen kamol muda ke na ke sindije nyala me yalon ko luanta yale andu luwa mansonga la fanang isonta walale.
Yes.
Your acquaintances have been victims as well as close family members of yours.
Andu mol nare je me yalon ko daltelale andu inila dolbeje la family la dimbal inila dimbal be ke natije ke marandi je.
Yes.
You have also been a personal victim.
Andu ite fam kundun keta mol me yalon ko koleya anana lati kanne.
Can you tell us when you were detained at the NIA?
Silam foisa fono yeta fam kundungo wati jumalam inana yeta fam muta je yesindije.
We will start with that before we go into your other detention.
Mba folo la wala jannimbita ila mutar dolla.
Okay.
My first arrest
on Thursday.
Was on a Thursday.
Mr. Jame, I believe that was your second arrest at the NIA.
No, NIA is one, Welcomes is one.
NIA is one, Welcome is one.
Okay, which happened first?
Welcomes.
Welcome happened first. So I want you to start with number 2, which is the NIA.
You follow NIA.
NIA.
At the NIA.
Natale on Wednesday.
I came on Wednesday.
And
I was told that the DG asked for me to go to him.
Do you remember the date?
I've forgotten the date, but not the day. It was on a Thursday. On Wednesday. And they told me that the DG said you should go.
DDG.
The DDG.
Deputy.
I went there. He said to me that we have received a complaint that the meat you sold here,
you did not pay for it.
I said I have paid for it. I said, yeah, Jame's property. If you do not want to go to mile 2, you desist from his property. I said to him, when I was, that was why when I was ready, it was during the weekend, but I came on Monday and made the payment. I went and made the payment. By the grace of God, he said to me, you have not paid. I said, I have not paid, really? I asked him, who said I did not pay? I told him, I have the receipt. Let me go and collect it. He said, no.
James.
He called James and told him that take this man on light detention. Let him be there.
We can only waste.
And waste the entire weekend. Let him waste the entire weekend.
How long were you detained at the NIA?
You were to see Morocco NIA.
No, 4 days. It was 4 days.
I spent 4 days there.
And you were eventually released?
I was released eventually.
Were you charged with any offense?
Up to date.
During that time, did you have access to your family or to a lawyer or anything?
Never happened.
And what was the accusation, just so that we are clear? You mentioned a bull.
The bull, by the grace of God,
almost 15 years.
Almost 15 years. I noticed that the cost of meat was very high. And I used to go. My father rears animals.
Almost
when the fasting period is approaching,
at least
I try to secure at least 20 or 15 bulls. I used to put them aside so that I could slaughter them later on and make the cost of a kilo cheap for people.
Mr. Sane, without going into the history of it, can you just tell us what actually brought about your arrest and detention at the NIA? Which particular case?
That was the ones belonging to Jame. The accusation was that I did not pay him, and I told him that I have paid.
So you took a bull belonging to Yaya Jame?
No, I was there. When a betrayal is about to come your way.
Mr. Sane, were you given a bull that belonged to Yaya Jame?
No, they slaughtered it, whether it was a bull or whatsoever, but they brought the meat to me.
But did it belong to Yaya Jammeh?
Yaya Jammeh tam.
It belonged to Yaya Jammeh.
So you sold it?
I sold it.
What was the arrangement after you sell it? What was supposed to happen?
Ni kacha bengote kanna bengote al kambenda menda muna nyena kake ni awafi. Ni it'll kambenda minna.
What they agreed them. I will sell it. It was on a Friday. I will sell it. On Monday. And I send the money to where it's supposed to go to.
And did you do that?
Okay. I did that.
And despite that, you were arrested.
That's what I'm saying. When betrayal is about to come your way,
almost 15 years.
Someone who was bringing cattle for almost 15 years, and you tell the person, don't do that this year. This year I will do it. And then you tell me again to sell it. I used to sell my own, and sometimes I run at a loss. But I know that is the making of God. Because if you want to help Muslims, especially during the month of the fasting month, I see that
at least
the price of my meat in the Gambia here, that is nowhere comparable.
Because
they came, they told me that your meat is cheaper than Yaya Jammeh's. Be careful, this is not safe. I told them what God destines will happen. I came. I used to sell my bulls there. But they came and told me this year, don't bring your cattle.
Okay, Mr. Saneh, thank you very much. I think we understand, because you did tell us that it was, you took Yaya Jammeh's bull, you sold it, and then gave the proceeds to him, but you were unfairly accused, basically, of not paying.
Sila ya fo jango bari ko nyala bon ko yeme ye infonyela ko ya jamela ninzo tale ya ta ya wafi bari ko doni ito ko ya sendi to ko ma sendi narna tumiro le kan ko ma sendi.
And after you were arrested, were you eventually released?
Yes, they released me.
And why did they release you?
I don't even know the reason why. But when they released me, I did not let the matter lie.
Did they realize that actually you were telling the truth?
Yes, you know when the incident happened, that's why I'm saying to you, the betrayal was cooked up a long time ago. When I came to this man, I told him I have paid already. I told them to allow me to go and pick up the receipt. I went and brought it back. Behold, there was a particular person there whose interest was to see that I was arrested.
So they did not investigate the matter properly. They did not look at the receipt. They just arrested you and detained you.
That was what happened.
And in your view, was that wrong or correct?
That was wrong.
Kindly tell us about your second detention. And because this has to do with another institution and not the NIA, you know, I would really urge you to be brief. So I would like to guide you so that I can get direct answers. When did that was your first arrest, in fact. We had gone to the second one before coming to the first. Do you remember the date of your first arrest?
I don't remember.
Okay. Can you tell us what led to your arrest?
My arrest?
What were you accused of?
The accusation was
I
was at home, I had closed from work.
Around 8.
Around 8. Fodebari called me and asked where I was. I told him I was home.
And who was Fodebari?
At the time, he was at Holygams. He was the boss of the place.
So Holgam was an institution of which particular department?
Niko Holgam doku bunda jumal de mealonka abe doku bunda jumal lokoro.
Again, in the drug squad.
It was under the drug squad.
All right.
He called me. When he hung the phone, operation called me.
Party.
At the time he was operation.
Of which particular department?
Drug squad.
Drug squad. He called me. Asked me, where are you? I told him I am home.
Did they arrest you?
Yes, they arrested me.
And where were you taken to?
They took me to Kanifing.
And Kanifing where? What's the name of the place they took you?
Holgams.
At Holgams.
Holgam.
So
were you detained?
Yes, in the jail.
I was detained there.
For how long?
Almost 3 to 4, almost 1 month.
Almost 1 month.
And were you detained with other people?
Yes, it's more than 10 people, if I don't forget.
Were you told the reason for your detention?
They didn't tell me that.
Did you eventually get to know?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us what they accused you of?
I was there.
Go for the barrego.
I said to Fodebari, it's about prayer time.
The spend is too much.
And the money I spend is too much.
Because
I am used to our staff.
In Salokanashi,
Mr. Sana, what were you accused of?
They said that that someone told them that
not drug all someone and
I brought drugs there
and in Thai
and cannabis sativa. I asked them what day. They said that they said it was the Saturday that I brought the drugs. I said to him that I said if that's to happen, then I'm a very foolish person. Someone that sells cannabis outside to come and sell it in the NIA. Especially when they said it was a vehicle full of cannabis.
Can you tell us how those allegations came?
The way they came, they arrested people.
No, I mean the allegations of you selling drugs at the NIA.
Okay.
How did they come about?
There was someone saw me offloading materials from which was sugar.
Almost 275 to 250 bucks.
I think I bought about 250 or 275 bucks that I bought.
Former president.
The former president, who was Jawara, he wrote a check for me and told me that I want sugar, which I will distribute to my people in the provinces. I want, after you bought it, I do not know how much you would sell it to me for. I asked him, what's the amount that you need? I said, I will not sell it to you. I told him that the price that I buy it for, let me check. The amount that you need, write that on the check. You wrote that on the check. Standard Chartered.
So Mr. Sane, eventually you bought the bags of rice and sugar for the ex-president Jawara.
Amunta konyi be nya labawni inar na sukron ni mano sang president nundo president membe nunja wala sadaro kaira ba Jawara.
Ni mano tije sukuro ya be moldi. Sukuro kono len.
It was not rice. There was no rice, only sugar.
It was just sugar. And what happened when you took it to the NIA premises?
Sila muna na ke biriyo samba NIA la korda bato je.
Ngasamba je.
I took them there.
Kabinga ngasamba je.
After taking it there, I was offloading. I had my list with me. And the numbers of the people, the customers were there. I said to them that this sugar, there is nowhere to keep it. This is not a shop. I'm just doing it here to assist you.
In 6 months.
So that if anyone needed a bag or two, I can give it to you and you pay me back in 6 months' time.
Mr. Sane, why were you bringing your private business into the premises of the NIA?
Mr. Sane, still muna ya sabu ite fankumo ila business o ila julaya iko na di NIA la sansankono.
Ya sabu.
The reason was,
no, when
you are not in a particular place, you don't get to know the place.
Because
I used to pity people. That was why I was not selling it there. As they are offloading them, if you are standing there yourself, you'll sympathize some people. Some people are there, they come and carry them on their heads themselves, so that they could take them. And if they demand for 3 bags, I'll tell them no. I don't have the money.
Why were you bringing your private business into the premises of the NIA, which was your workplace essentially? That's my question. Was that the right thing to do?
No. But the reason why I did it, I don't have anywhere to keep it, to store it.
And during the course of you offloading and uploading those bags, what happened? Did someone see you and was a complaint made against you?
Sai muna na ga biri wato mena ebe obotoro nyin sarse da ni be jindila wato mena from wala so da me aron ko ay wosida ke akonyin to ba.
Yes.
Security be yele?
Security, we are there.
Did from Beselo ko anya binna?
There were the detainees in the cells who were also seeing me.
And what was the complaint that was made?
They said that
I've been there almost 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks, they told me that those bags of yours, they said it's drugs and cannabis. And I said to them, then you don't know your work. It's very day that this thing happened. The bags that I distributed to people, I have the names of those individuals in my memory. Call all of them to come back. And those that I gave to the former president, I have not written it down, but I have the amount in my memory. I said to them that this matter, what is inside it, tell me. Because two losses, that is what was coming my way. I will lose the sugar, and secondly, my sheep too, I will lose them. Because at that time, I had already bought some sheep.
Almost 250 Sergio.
Almost 250 sheep.
For instance, almost 50 years, any be for any Sergio in the office. Sergio every salon 6 months.
And I've been doing that for almost 15 years. When the Tobaski is approaching, I used to loan it out to people to pay me back in 6 months' time.
Mr. Sane, let me just help you here. So as a result of your unlawful arrest and detention, which you were eventually cleared of,
Mr. Sane barungi ma ko janko comme tumala men ila o mutonyi mi alon ko atata ni silo le men ko ani luwani monta.
You had huge losses in your business.
Amunta yo anarana ke bulu fo balti ila julaya kono.
Yes, very much.
And this was in relation to your sheep selling business.
Ni sujita menna wala mila saji wafo me ikamenke.
Can you estimate the cost of loss that you incurred?
Foisa yirka no bang. Foisa yirka no nyela bang. Yefo menke la ujulaya nyinkono yefo agumforo nangamo men ifotala. Isa yirka no nyela bang.
Na jero nga ko mbundi.
According to my observation, the money that I spent
Na profito
and my profit,
kada nyawnya.
however you evaluate it,
Anyina fonde sila wala 4 plus.
it should be 400 or 4 plus.
Because muna kada
Because what happened was,
otumo saji damen kada.
at the time, the cost of a sheep
Was not like this.
was not like this.
Saji niya juna.
If you buy a sheep earlier,
4,000 or 3,500.
4,000 or 3,500,
Kad namola office 6 months 5,000.
and I used to give to my people in the office to pay me back in 6 months' time at a cost of 5,000.
But that was the total cost, basically, of the loss you estimate.
Muni koroni yirko build ni aka funyo mai fota men ngamre wala fota
I'm for ha.
Yes, what I lost, yes.
So eventually, you were released from detention at Holgam.
Nyala ba ni inara ne bula maroko no holgam.
Ay yatambula.
Yes, I was released
And
eventually.
during this time, you said it was a period of about 1 month. Was your salary stopped? Were you indicted or anything like that?
Nim wato nyimbi akumdela maroko no je atara fo karkiling. Fo ile joni ya kuntula bang fo ye sindi wala nyawa bang fo ye salary nyim fana fo ya kuntula bang fo ya kenyadi.
Ni makundu.
No, my salary was flowing.
So they continue to pay you.
Munde tentenda kejo.
You were not dismissed.
Me bay.
Membai.
So
was
you
not
went back
dismissed.
to work afterwards?
Imurunda do kola ko nyin kere kola.
Mura do kola.
I returned back to work.
Comme même fanyina.
I wanted to resign.
Go makoro.
I said assistance.
Bola.
That was what I was doing.
Ngaje ko ala min fo comme ça ani min poto yodi mo sun ko kono.
And I said what God says, even if you should offer somebody a cup of sugar during the fasting period, it's much more if you should give them meat or ram.
So okay okono
In that, I said to them,
ale min keden
what you did like this,
de même fanyina
I would resign.
ngamul makoy.
I have assisted people,
Modi min kan tendu.
and there is nobody who praises me.
O na kondo kaje always dum kasaro kono daga.
But all they do is to see that all the time I get into losses.
Go ko ndeka loan ta bank.
I told them that I used to take loan from bank
Ani credit union.
and from the credit union,
Ani ko na business ndadu ko ngamule outside.
and also the small businesses that I perform for for people outside.
Ko ko saying
I said to them, now,
alendebula 1 week.
here you are, you've put me in a situation just a week before the prayer time.
Saying
Right now,
ndela biango ngadi minna.
my animals that I gave to people,
Nindaji ni maso yedu.
Okay. Mr. Sane,
What
you've
about-
already told us about the losses that you incurred in respect of your animals.
Yeah,
And
fanyele if you for menge kasujini ngila da fengolla.
You've also shared some of your personal feelings about, what happened to you.
Anu ya fanyele fanango ite fankundengo ilon kolayal men taki.
Why did you continue to work with the NIA for so long after everything that had happened to you and some of your close relatives and all of the things that you saw happening, the illegal detentions as well as the torture? Why did you continue to work?
Muna ya sabu hani kabi tentente ka dogo ke NIA je nyunkul min be yalan ko ikeda je ye sede ya ifango badingol nara je ye muta je anu ye defango muta je hani kabi tentente ka dogo ke NIA je mbe tembo meto man hani kabi tentente ka dogo ke je nyunkul min be kede la nyame ifota ila jo ila fengola o nyaaw nyabe dogo la je muna yo sabu
Natro ko
if at all,
lala
that very day,
ningam fonyo.
if I had resigned,
Kamimfo
what I'm saying
one thing indi.
would not have been this.
Because je NIA
Because at the NIA,
udi nulti
I'm a junior officer,
ramuke balti.
but I'm also senior.
Because mimbe je
Because what obtains there,
mol tatale mol digo min sorona.
the trust that people have on me.
Abin tara fo ulula ko min fonyo la.
In fact, the day that I decided to resign,
Uli kama ko NIA sanlo kelaje.
you would think that there was a funeral inside the NIA complex.
Mol ko nyoko ebe fonyo ko ni fonyo ebe fonyo la.
People told me that if you resign, we will resign. There were people who said to me, if you resign, you are going to life in jail.
No, you will not enjoy your life.
Or you will not enjoy life. And I agree. I went and lied down. Before I lay down, I performed ablution. And then I came. I saw it in a dream. I saw laughter. I said, what they are saying is the truth. I decided not to resign. As for now, whether it's pleasant or bitter, I will just take it and leave everything in the hands of God. This was the reason why I am still there up to date.
And can you tell us what impact your personal experience in terms of your unlawful detention and everything you experienced at the NIA, what impact this has had on your life?
Silam fa isa fo no nye ila muto me alon ko ani luwa mantanyo memu luwan tan yade mutoro men kela ani ke sindi dula kilin ay mun kolya kulel sabu ma ila baluwa kono na bulu fa mun ko min kerek.
The setbacks that I experienced
in my life.
By the grace of God, I had a shop in Kiang which I used to buy materials or items when I'm going to Kiang on weekends, and I used to sell there. And that was the reason why it brought hardship on my side. Those that we are having my debts, those that I also gave things to keep for me, I found that some people had already spent that money. People thought that I was not going to be released. And my vehicles, I found all of them. I did not find them in a proper state. That was the reason why it brought setback on my life. If not for the sheep,
I am without sheep.
Okay, I don't have sheep. I don't have my money. My garage too was closed. What closed it was, if people come to you for a particular business, and each time they come, they are not pleased with the service, that person runs away from you. Because work is intention. You see someone who knows, who is well qualified in work, or is very endowed academically, if the intention is not there.
And who do you hold responsible for everything that happened to you? Why are you saying that? What did he have to do with your unlawful detention?
They said that he was the one who said that all of us arrest. 20 people were arrested.
Are you referring to the Holgam arrest or the other one?
I'm referring to Holgam.
Okay.
Pick up. A pickup.
Only full escort.
With a full escort. Paramilitary officers armed with guns. You would think that I have killed a person. The T-shirt. They told me to come and meet them along the way. They saw me, and they all cocked their guns. I said to them, what's the matter?
You are under arrest.
Pate said to me, you are under arrest.
Mr. Sane, are we going back?
Mr. Sane,
let's try and move forward.
Okay.
Let's go on.
Yes, I think that really we've come to the end of your testimony. I mean, you will have a chance to give some final remarks at the end. So perhaps if you have anything else to say, you can do that then.
Njikita ko silang dem furatela say dan road kumfadula dole silang wato bina kumo bina murle kana ko ni ngatra wato sida puru yela kumo da sorong.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I hand over the witness to you.
Thank you, Counsel, and thank you, Mr. Sanne, for your testimony.
Kiaman ko inumbara bake Counsel, inumbara bake Mr. Sanne memuida sedodi pulila seda ndiroro.
Commissioners, if you have any questions to ask them, please indicate.
Silang commissional ningatra momo nyini karo soro sedo isa itandi.
Otherwise, if you have any concluding remarks to make, Mr. Sanne, please proceed to make them now.
Ni wonde Mr. Sanne saying about tumala men commissioner mo mansoro membe nyini kala kumo itamuru itasubu kumo isada soro.
Please. You have the floor, Mr. Sanne.
Iko kumo begudu.
Kumo mbule.
I have something to say. I greet all the commissioners and hail them all. Pray to God for long life and good health. What is in the whole matter? The person who is on the side of truth, if you give that person the benefit of his truth, it pleases the heart. Because if you look at things, the way your head here is like, the imams are here, other people are here. The reason for that is so that the country we now become people who come from the same father and mother.
Because
that is the reason why.
Because
if you are on the side of truth, you would have some people who will praise you. All the people that come here, if you say you are going to praise them, if they say that they are going to praise you, there are others who are outside who are not praising you. What I have is to speak to my younger siblings so that our fathers, our mothers, who was the one sitting here, so that we come together and be people from the same father and mother. Because what has passed, if anybody says that that has not hurt them, if I said the person, Nico, there's no person here who will know that if his or her relative has not been arrested, they would have arrested his or her friend. If they have not arrested their friend, they will arrest a relative.
So,
if you have a situation like that, the TRRC, from the chairman, I'm greeting all of you, so that God will give you long life. And those behind, they do not come here with temper. Let each one of them come and see to it that it's my fathers who are here and my mothers who are here. And I know that people are here sitting. If I should say that all those who came here, the people here are not of their father's age or the age of their mothers, it will be difficult. Because someone who is of the same age with your father is also your father. Your mother through the same thing. So let us try and tell each other the truth. And if you also want to follow the cause of Islam, you must speak truth to each other. Those who have not done well, you tell them.
Kana jusola.
Let us not do it with bad temperament.
Juso.
Temperament. The person who is on the side of right, if you come here with that kind of temper, it will diminish your truth from you. Secondly, the people of the TRRC, let them speak out. Let us reside well amongst each other. This person is this thing, and this person is this thing. All of us come from Adam. Let us try and live together well. Let's return to Islam, that this person is a Muslim, this person is a Christian. Let us do away with that and just see ourselves as people who come from the same father and mother. And what we are seeking, God will make it happen for us. It will take time, but a day will come, all of this will come to an end. And we will be thinking of something else. This is the message I have. I thank you. I hail you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Sane, for your testimony and for those very wise concluding remarks.
Mr. Sane ila sedandiroto anila kumakang hakilimalto.
Our task here essentially is to focus on promoting healing and reconciliation.
Na do ko min de jawale nyinti ko ka kidimandiro ke jara lola anin kamurunyo kan ko la menu keta,
as well as to prevent the repeat of violations and abuses of human rights that occurred in this country.
Anin fanan ka bantambire ke ko la men yalon ko hada badi nyanti tinyal me yalon ko keta imbankun kanjang pur kaje ko ko ikana murun kan murna nyanyi bankun kanjang ko denke.
We appreciate your contribution to establishing this historical record.
Anin kabi ila lafandango nying nasiyo nying kono ngatale andu ngabunyale fanang puru menna kol tamandila nyame puru kaje ko katari ka loringo sabatindi banko kan.
We thank you very much for your testimony.
Be numbara bake ila sedandiroto.
We will resume our proceedings tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Silambe luku lola janne ngana murna jan sama somanda talantang nadia da alay.
Meeting is adjourned.